So welcome back, folks. Alright, so I didn't want everybody to just think that after 3 years of ownership, everything was just hunky-dory with my Chinese scooter here. So today, we're going to cover the cons, or things I hate, about owning a Chinese GY6. So before we even get started, I want to first give a little title update, because it seemed like everything was in order, and then of course, today a problem came up. So it turns out my title's going to be just a little bit delayed, simply because there's a duplicate title out there. Yeah, I went to the Secretary of State today and got the bad news that we have a duplicate title somewhere out there. So it's going to take a little bit longer than I was initially expecting to get this bike on the road. But that being said, I don't want anybody to think that that issue has to do with why I'm doing the cons on my scooter. No, this was a long time coming, guys. Again, after 3 years of ownership, I think I'm a little bit more adept to tell you what problems I have with this bike, and that's also if you agree or not. I always like to give my warning that these are my opinions about my scooter. I'm not saying that all scooters are one thing. I'm just saying what it takes to keep this thing confidently on the road. So let's jump right into number one. And number one thing that I either hate or dislike about my bike is the mirrors that it came with. If you notice, that was one of the first things that we changed, simply because if you have any type of width of shoulders, you're not going to be able to see behind you. So as you can see, I can see directly behind me in both of my mirrors. So that's the number one thing that they should improve, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people ask me, what are the first things when you get one of these bikes that you should change? And they're talking about, obviously, fuel lines, spark plugs, maybe a hotter coil, but stuff like that. And I would say, yeah, you could change all that stuff. But to me, the number one thing that you guys need to purchase after purchasing one of these scooters is a carburetor. Now, it could be the same size carburetor, 24 millimeter, or you can go 26, or you can experiment. But the reason I say that is the carburetor is sealed. They come on the bike. They don't want you touching the bike, so for some reason it's sealed. But that makes no sense, simply because if you are going to clean the carburetor to get to the jets, you have to take the float bowl off. And these screws that are hollowed out to where you can't adjust them are at the float bowl. So I don't know, that's just going to be a colossal failure when you get a clogged carburetor. So definitely upgrade your carburetor. So number three would be the original exhaust on this bad boy. Not so much that the exhaust is bad, but the nuts and the actual screws that hold it to the frame of the bike are going to come loose. And it doesn't seem like there's much you can do about it. Red Loctite works in certain situations, but I've had red Loctite on the ones that hold it to the swing arm, and it did not help. I don't know if it's too much heat or what the case may be, but they came loose again, and finally I replaced the whole darn exhaust. But you knew we were going to do that anyway. Number four, and that's going to be that the headlights aren't the best quality. They burn out way too quickly. You'll be going through headlights, if not every season, almost every season. So currently I'm working on installing a light bar, but my wiring skills aren't the best. So I haven't determined if I want to do it AC or DC, but it's a pretty bright light bar, so I think I want to do it with AC. Number five will be this floor mat. It never fit right. course, we've taken the knobs off and replaced them with Velcro, so it actually fits a lot better. But that's almost a must thing that you have to do. If not, you're going to have spacing and your feet are going to slip off possibly. Just definitely take those knobs off, put some Velcro on there. So now what? Number 6? Number 6 is, again, looking down at the bottom there, the battery. You're going to have to replace your battery. The battery is just straight garbage, okay? It's going to last you about 6 months. You might be able to get a year out of it, but that's pushing it. Go ahead and replace your battery as soon as possible. Number 7 would be straight from the factory to me. Again, my opinion, but to me, the Kickstarter is absolute boo-boo. I mean, I think I started my machine up once and then it broke. And to tell you the truth, I can't confirm that. You know, I mean, it broke immediately once I started kicking on it. I would recommend to have it going in the forward direction rather than the backwards direction. Number 8, we might as well stick with the K's, would be the kickstand. You know, a lot of people mention, oh man, your kickstand is, you know, bent to heck, and y'all really put a lot of pressure and broke that kickstand. Man, I didn't break that kickstand. That kickstand came like that. I mean, pretty much. I got it up in the initial video, but after that, thing just went kaplooey. So number 9, the plastics are really cheap. They're gonna break on you if you're loosening up your screws and taking things off and putting them back on. So you got to be careful of that. And number 10, the last one would be, and this might be in my mind, it might not be, you guys can tell me, but it seems like I am constantly fixing her. You know, I put a lot of work in. Now I do a lot of, you guys can tell me through the videos, I do a lot of replacement of parts. But it seems like as much as I'm riding, I'm in the garage working on her. So folks, those are my top 10 things that kind of annoy me after 3 years of ownership and an opinion piece of a GY6 Chinese scooter. But everybody has their own situation, and I'll tell you, she gives me a lot more joy than she takes away from me. So again, this is Kachi's Kid. Hoping everybody has a great night. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Peace out.